Hey, Munchkin. Shh, 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 shh. Come on. Oh, big yawn. Big yawn. Hi. I know, big yawn. Oh, thank you, Roxy. We're okay. Shh, shh, shh. Grumpy Gills. Are you grumbly? It was scary, but we're okay. Shh, shh, shh. Grumble. Grumble. Honey, what's wrong? Why are we grumbling? Are you scared you just woke up? Yeah, you just woke up. Look at mommy. It's okay. Come on. Good morning. Hi. Me too, Avery, me too. Us too, huh, sweetheart? Us too. We're excited to be okay too, huh? Yeah. Honey, what's wrong? Because you can't reach the food? Okay, I'll make it so you can reach the food. Mommy will make it so you can reach the food. Okay. I know, right, Lauren? It's hard not to want to. Okay. But mommy needs coffee. Very badly. I know, sweetheart, I know. Just give mommy a second. I'll readjust for you in 1 second. I'm better now, Sloth. I was not okay yesterday, that is for sure. But I am much, much better now. Thank you for asking. Yes. Better. Oops, I dropped that, but whatever. Better now by far. By like a huge margin. You dropped your food. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, Lily, we got into a car accident yesterday. It was very minor, but yes, exactly what Roxy said. It took a mental toll because I was hit while the baby was in the car, and you know that's like, the lab is in the house. Hello, sweet baby girl. Yeah, no, of course, Lauren, don't even stress. I would never expect everybody to know everything like that. That's not, hold on, I'm just gonna step off camera to get her readjusted. Hey, It was our first solo trip with the baby. Yeah, that was part of why it was so scary for me, was that it was my first outing alone with her. And of course, that's the one time this happens. Can you believe it? I mean, what luck, right? I'm treating myself to an extra shot of espresso right now, for the sake of getting through the day, if you know what I mean. If you know what I mean. Hi, beautiful. Hey, good brother. Are you actually hungry, or are you just being silly pants? Hungry or silly pants? Hungry or silly pants? That's the new game. Treat yourself, yeah. I'm okay, Anya. Better than I was for sure. What else? Yeah. Hey. Why are we grumbly? Why are we grumbly? Lay your head down. You'll be happier. I promise. You will. If you lay your head down, look at your hair got all messed up. We need to brush your hair. We need to brush that hair. Mommy's gonna get a spoon. Yeah. All right. Oh, good burp. That was good. Yeah, it was a good burp. You want more now that your burp is out? You want more? Okay. Give Mommy 2 seconds. Yes. I know. Okay. Okay. Yes. Give Mommy 2 seconds. Okay. Mommy just wants to dry her hand. Yeah. Okay. There's my girl. Here you go. Food's right here. Oh, now you're smiling like, yeah. That's happy girl, huh? Yeah. Happy girl smiling. Yes. Happy girl smiling. Well, you keep dropping it, hon. Well, it'll be better if you just wait till we sit down. Yeah. It would. It would be better if you waited till we sat down. Yes, it would. Yeah. Yeah, it would be better, huh? Do you think you could wait till we sit down or no? Probably not. Let's see. The burps are just a way to create more room. That's right. Make more room for more food, huh, honey? More room for more food. Okay, Mommy's gonna take this important question. Is the cookie tin in the back cookies? It is cookies. Yes. Hold, please. It's actual cookies and they're sugar-free. They're so delicious. Sorry, that was loud. This is the cookies. They're from Chalk Zero, which is like a small family-owned company. And they're like these. They're butter cookies. They're so freaking good. I'm gonna eat one right now. Thank you for reminding me that they're there. Not that I'm opposed to making it a sewing kit. I know, right, Emily? It's so good. Yeah. Actually, cookies. That was a great question, though. No one's ever asked that before. Can we go to the chair now? Maybe? What do you think? Are you opposed? They are indeed the Chalk Zero ones. Yes. Chalk Zero is like my favorite brand of everything, pretty much. Let's see if I can do this. Do we think I can hold this in this hand and you guys in this hand? Let's see if we can get to the chair this way. I don't know. We're about to find out how skilled I am. Okay, I have to put you guys down for a second to be able to reconfigure myself. Oops, oh dear. Well, you know, we made it here, whether you guys are on the tripod or not. Ugh. If anything falls, drop you. Yes, definitely. Definitely that. Okay, so you guys will go over here on this side, since she's feeding on the other side. Babies teach you to handle a lot one-handed, that's right. They sure do. Okay, the book is right there. You are right here. Let's feed you. Nom, nom, nom. Let's get coffee for mommy. Nom, nom, nom. Here we go. It's so much easier to feed her sitting, but she's like, I want it right now. And I'm like, but I also want coffee. So I feed her standing, even though it's not my preferred method. You grumble, you don't care that it's not my preferred method. So how are you all? I forgot to ask, which was rude of me, but it's because we were dealing with a grumbly baby and all that. Did you see The Little Mermaid in French songs? I haven't seen any of that because yesterday was so crazy. I literally haven't checked anything, but I will today. Delightful. Coffee was necessary. It was a necessity. Oh yeah. Are you so happy to have your nom noms? Oh, you dropped it. You dropped it. Get that nom noms. Get the nom noms. Yeah. Nom nom nom. Doing all right. It's the first day of spring break. Really? Gosh, that feels early, doesn't it? Or am I crazy? Oh, I guess we're in the middle of March, aren't we? It's March 14th, isn't it? They start their spring break on a Friday? Wow. Shows what I know, huh? I feel like it was different when I was a kid / teen, but you know, things do change, and that was literally 20 years ago, so it's the last day of March break up here. Really? Well. All right. What's that about? What's that sound for? Because you dropped it and you want help? Yeah. Yeah. You're making your puppy dog sounds. Well, now that I've given you help, you don't have to grumble anymore. See how nice that is? They go to a charter school, so things at the community college are there. Ah, that's fancy. Wow. My brother starts his spring break on Monday. Ours have parent-teacher and spring break next week. So it is next week for a lot of people. Okay. Well, see? Shows what I know. Today's a bonus day off. I see. Okay. All right. Yeah? Is that so nom-noms? Is that so nom-noms? I think also maybe, and I could be wrong about this, it might also be dependent. Yeah, I was going to say, Ember, it might also be dependent about the area that you live and like how weather is too, right? Maybe? Absolutely recommend looking into charter schools. It's been a wonderful experience. Yeah, you know, we're, so part of the reason why we want to move back down to a specific area of Orange County, yeah, for you. Part of it is to be close to my sister and my niece and nephew, of course. But part of it is also that the area that I grew up in is one of the highest ranked public school districts in the whole country. And so I love that for her, obviously. I had a great time in the schools that I went to education-wise, and things like that. And so I would like her to be in that district. I've never looked into the charter schools in that district, but I'm sure they have them, you know. So we will definitely look into that. Yeah, will we? Will we look into that for you and your pretty eyelashes? Yeah. Yeah, are your eyelashes getting dark? Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, they are. You know what's funny? Her eyebrows are starting to get color. Okay, so did anybody's baby, was anybody's baby born with colorful, like, this sounds strange. When I say colorful, you're looking at this rainbow and imagining I mean that, but like, was anybody's baby, that makes a lot of sense, Kimberly. Was anybody's baby born with pigmented eyebrows is what I should say. Because I think most babies are born with invisible eyebrows. Your baby's eyelashes are turning red, you're gonna have a redhead for sure. My baby's eyelashes have turned my color, so I don't know that her hair is gonna change, but she's finally getting pigment to her eyebrows, which obviously were invisible at birth. But like at her age, I already had dark eyebrows, so that's been like, I wonder if she's gonna have lighter hair. Maybe it'll be a lighter brown than mine. I don't know. But they're definitely getting brown now, her eyebrows, just, slowly. It's starting from the right and working its way across her face, because her left eyebrow has no pigment, just the right side. I had, if somebody reminds me, I'll post a picture of baby me, because obviously my face is not a secret. And you can see by 2 months, or I guess maybe it wasn't 2 months, maybe that picture's like 3 or 4 months, but I had the same eyebrows that I have now, which is hysterical on a baby. I was talking to Ellen Marsh the other day and showing her a side-by-side comparison of my baby and me, and she was like, oh my God, you were the most Italian baby that ever lived. I was like, it's true. Yes. Are you done now so we can read, or you want to just, okay, we can read while you eat, that's fine. So we read a little bit yesterday, and yeah, it was more sad than scary so far. I'm sure it's still gonna get thrillery, but mine had light hair and light eyebrows when he was a baby. Oh, they were born with that? Your baby was born with some color to his eyebrows, or were they completely opaque or translucent? Not opaque. Opaque would be what the opposite. Hers are just like, I can tell that there's hair there. You can see it, but it's very, 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 very no color. I don't even want to say blonde, because it's not even blonde. There's like no color to it. Her dad has blonde eyebrows, which is hilarious because he's a redhead. He does not have red eyebrows. Isn't that strange? He has blonde eyebrows and red hair. What happened there? Me too, Avery. Also, Secret Husband's beard is not entirely red. Oh, really? Also, your husband's also a redhead and has blonde eyebrows. Okay, so then mine's not unique in that. I was so confused when I clocked that, because obviously when he and I were first dating, I didn't notice it at first because I wasn't paying attention to eyebrows. But then as I started to look at his face more, I was like, why do you have blonde eyebrows? You know what I mean? A lot of redheads have blonde eyebrows. Okay, great. Okay, so I didn't know that. So she's probably not going to get red hair because her eyebrows are coming in brown. I can't imagine that she's going to have brown eyebrows and red hair. That seems unlikely. Although I guess anything's possible. Your brother-in-law has them too. Okay, so it sounds pretty common then. But his beard also grows in partially red, partially blonde. I dreamt that Princess Jasmine was crying, and it was like, oh my gosh, that would be so... She does try. My ex had light brown hair, blonde, and red beard. Interesting. Red beard and eyebrows. Huh. Auburn, maybe. Yeah, anything's possible, right? I mean, truly anything's possible. Genetics, right? But I'm always just wondering. I wonder about you. Every day I wonder about you. I wonder what you're going to look like. What color your hair is going to end up being. What color your eyebrows are going to end up being. Yeah. I had to go to my doctor's appointment yesterday. Really, Jen? What are the other colors in there?
And my doctor had never seen the baby before because she didn't deliver her because she was on vacation when she was born early. And she saw her for the first time and she was like, oh my gosh, she has, and she named my husband, she has his eyes. And I was like, yep, exactly. And then she said, and I quote, she's the prettiest baby ever. I was like, yes, thank you. Thank you. I don't care if she's lying to me, you guys. I don't care if she's lying. She called my baby the prettiest baby ever. My sister and my husband have brown hair and 3 children have bright red hair. That's so wild. Where do you think they got it? It has to be in there somewhere because it's a recessive gene. So interesting. I thought maybe she could get the red hair because her dad has red hair and his sister has red hair and his sister has one redheaded daughter. But she also has one, like, platinum blonde daughter as well. Really? Okay. Well, as Sloth said, the possibilities are literally endless. Yes, they are. So let's get to reading and see where this book goes today. We have no idea, but we will, for those of you who don't know, we yesterday just started a book called How to Sell a Haunted House. We picked it up at the library because the other books we wanted were all checked out, but really, Grumble Pants. Yeah. But we're going to give it a go. We're still giving it a try, and if it ever gets too scary for us, we're going to stop. Yes, that's what's going to happen. Are you falling back asleep? Do you think I could put my shirt back together if you're going to sleep, or are you just going to use me as a pacifier? You're going to need to burp. Don't look at me like that. You have all 3 hair colors in one family? Yeah, us too. Well, I mean, us two being me and my husband and Secret Baby, but not my immediate family is all either, I mean, actually, I would say my family is all brunette, like almost exclusively. Different shades of brunette, of course, but okay, let's burp. Let's burp. Let's burp. Yes. Oop. Let's burp. Let's burp. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I do. We have the rainbow hair in our genes. That's right. I don't know if any of you know this, but according to Becca's daughter, she really thought that this baby was going to be born with rainbow hair. And she was really confused when she came out and didn't. Becca's daughter's 5, and she was like, well, how come she doesn't have rainbow hair? And I kind of wanted to be like, oh, genetics are weird, honey. You can't lie to them. I mean, a little bit, whatever. It's not really lying. It's just having a little fun with a 5-year-old, right? Just being like, oh, she didn't get my hair. She actually totally did get my hair. Yeah, you did get mommy's hair. Okay, we're going to read chapter 3 this morning. And if anyone here has to leave early, don't forget tonight is Roll for Slime After Dark at 6 p.m. It's the locked live because it's 18 plus, right? Yeah, you can't come. You're not invited. Okay. Leaving Poppy with Ian turned out to be a disaster. Poppy clung to her neck at the airport, refusing to let go. I don't want you to go, she wailed. Well, I don't want to go either, Louise said, but I have to. I don't want you to die, Poppy wailed. No, I'm not going to die, Louise said, wrapping her arms around Poppy's neck. Not for a really long time. And she started transferring her to Ian. You're going to go away and you're never going to come back, Poppy hyperventilated, clinging to Louise. You're going to die like Granny and Grandpa. Uh-oh. Oh, good burp. Ian took Poppy and put one hand on the back of her head and pressed her face to his chest. You said they D-I-E-D? He asked her. I had to say something. Jesus, Louise, she's only 5. Louise started to explain. Just go, Ian said. I've got her. But, Louise tried again. You're not helping, he said. All right, bye, sweetie, she said, and she tried to kiss the top of Poppy's head. Poppy pressed her face into Ian's chest, and Louise wanted to say something to make it all better, but all she could do was pick up her bag and turn her back and walk away toward the big doors marked All Gates, feeling like she'd failed at being a mother and wondering how she'd screwed this up so badly, trying to remember how her own mother had explained death to her. And then she remembered. She hadn't. She felt slow and stupid boarding her flight. She wanted to apologize to everyone. I'm sorry I can't find my boarding pass. My parents are dead. I'm sorry I stepped on your laptop bag, but my parents are dead. I'm sorry I sat in the wrong seat, but my parents are dead. The idea felt too big to fit inside her head. It was the thought that blotted out all other thoughts. Before takeoff, she Googled what to do when your parents die and was overwhelmed by articles demanding that she find the will and execute. You know what I'm saying. Hi, are you gonna burp? Tonight is After Dark, which means it's a locked live for Patreon, specifically because it has to be locked to age, and the only way that I can confirm ages is through that. But it's everybody on Patreon, including the lowest level, gets to watch, and the lowest level is $3 a month, so it's like a really easy entry point. The only reason it's $3 is because that's the lowest that Patreon would let me set it at, but everybody's welcome to join that as long as they're over 18. Right? Not you. You're not over 18. You're not even close. Hi, beautiful. Are you smiling at mommy? Are you smiling at mommy? Are you sticking your tongue out at mommy? Are you still hungry? Are you grumbly? You need a burp. You found a shirt for me? Oh, exciting. I love a good shirt. You know, I love a funny shirt. Let's see. To find the will and executor, meet with the trustees and estate lawyer, contact a CPA, secure the property, forward mail, make funeral, burial, or cremation arrangements, and get copies of the death certificate. She wondered if she was supposed to cry. She hadn't cried yet. She felt like she would feel better, maybe, if she cried. Whenever Louise didn't know what to do, she made a list. A single mother with a full-time job, lists were her friends. She opened Lister on her phone and started a new list called Things to Do in Charleston and hit the plus sign to create the first item. And then she stared at the blank line for a long time. She tried to herd her thoughts into some kind of order, but they kept slipping away. And finally, frustrated, she closed the app. She tried to sleep, but it felt like fire ants were crawling all over her brain, so she pulled out her phone again and opened Lister and hit the plus sign and stared at the first blank line again until she closed it. But at some point, the plane got cold and her head dropped forward and then snapped back, and she opened her eyes and felt sweat cooling on the back of her neck. Rivulets of sweat trickled down her ribs. She didn't know what time it was. The girl next to her was asleep. The flight attendant walked by fast, and the pilot made an announcement. They were landing in Charleston. She was home. You want to eat on the other side? Okay, we'll switch sides. You ready? You burped. Now you want to eat on the other side? We can make that happen. Yes, we can. Yes. We can switch sides. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. 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 Let's get this off to switch sides. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Hi. Hi, beautiful. Hi, beautiful girl. Hi, my beautiful angel. Hi. Hi. Let mommy reconfigure herself. It's very important. And then we will read and you will eat. Here you go. Go ahead. Why are you so grumbly this morning? What is that? Are you going to eat or what? There we go. Okay. Very good. Good job. Okay. Oh, thank you, Ember. That's very sweet of you to say. How's your baby this morning? I know your baby is almost in the same developmental stage, as it were. The grumble stage, we'll call it. Is your baby grumbling at you also? Are you grumble pants? Are you grumble pants this morning? Okay. Luckily, we are at a seam break, so that was nice because the plane landed and then we were able to switch sides, so that's good. She just got put on high-cal formula, and yes, she is, yes. Grumble, 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 grumble. That's all I have to say to them, and hopefully they can interpret it because, you know, they don't speak English yet or any other language. Although, I will show you guys later, before we start the next scene, I got her a set of, can you please get Patreon to be able to DM pictures? Oh, bro. Roxy, you don't know how many times I've talked to them about this. I don't know. They're not going to do it. They keep telling me no. And I understand why, because a lot of creators don't have as safe of a community as we have. So it's for safety that they don't allow that. But what I keep telling them is I want them to have a feature where you can choose to turn it on if you feel like your community is safe, like I do. I understand that there's a lot of podcasters out there who have like creepy followers or whatever like that, but I don't have that situation. So I would like to be able to choose to turn on, I would also like to be able to choose to turn on video, because I told them all the time, like, especially if the Slime Help chat could have video, how great would that be for us? I tell them that all the time. They're not listening to me. I try. I'll keep trying. I will. I'll keep advocating for it. I think it should be a feature that, I mean, like, if you can put pictures in the chat, the coding already exists on their website. So, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. Okay, let's keep reading. Let's make a new platform. Hey, if you got the money for it, I'm all in. I'll jump if you got the money to build it. Or the know-how. I know some people who are coders, actually, but we'd have to pay them. Because, you know, it's their job, right? Even though they're my friends, they need to be paid for their time. All right. Louise walked off the plane into a world that felt too bright, too loud, too hot, too colorful. Palmetto trees and pineapple logos and walls of sunny windows and giant ads featuring the Charleston skyline at sunset all burned into her grainy eyes. What prevents weirdos from posting photos? I don't know the answer to that, Liz. Maybe they feel like people would do it directly to, maybe they feel like, you know, I don't know the answer to that, Liz. That's a great question. Yeah, I genuinely don't know. You're right. You're right. It makes no sense. You're absolutely right. I should have thought of that when I was discussing it with them. Maybe I have another meeting with Patreon on the 25th. I'm so sorry, late start. What are we reading? No problem at all. We're reading a book called How to Sell a Haunted House. How to Sell a Haunted House. I do have another meeting on the 25th, so I could bring it up. We'll see. Wait, no. The 25th is the day I have an appointment at the DMV. How am I going to get to the DMV if our car's not fixed? Darn it. Okay, I need to really think this through. Maybe I'll have to take a... Okay, let's read, and I'll figure that out later. Bless you. That was a big sneeze. Yeah, it was. It was a big sneeze. She rented a little blue Kia from Avis and drove over the new bridge to Spring Hill Suites in Mount Pleasant. Spring Hill Suites processed her into their system right away, and she suddenly found herself standing in a putty-colored room with peach highlights and pineapple-patterned bedspread and a print of palmetto trees on the wall. She looked down at her phone. Mark still hadn't called or texted her, even though she'd left him 2 messages the night before. Technically, she had hung up on him, but he had to cut her some slack, because after all, their parents had died. And she looked at the lack of missed calls from Mark and felt disappointed, but not surprised. She even felt a little relieved. She could handle it if he just showed up at the funeral and they shared a few stories and then went back to their separate lives. They had too much history and suddenly develop any kind of new relationship. I don't need to, unfortunately Becca lives very far away. I don't need to do the driving test. I just need to take the paper test again because it's been 10 years. So I don't have to drive. I'll just take an Uber over there, I guess, you know. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. I wish Becca lived closer. That would be very nice for me. But she lives in New York. It wasn't even noon. She needed to do something. Her palms itched. Her skin felt clammy beneath her clothes. She wanted to get organized. She wanted to accomplish things. She had to go somewhere. She needed to talk to someone, and she needed to be around people who knew her mom and dad. Yeah, Becca could drive Liz, yeah, or vice versa. She had to go get Aunt Honey. She got in her Kia and headed down Coleman toward Ben Sayer Bridge, and as she passed the hideous new development where the old Krispy Kreme used to be, she realized that she was about to drive through the intersection where her parents had died. The closer she got to the corner of Coleman and McCants, the more her foot eased off the accelerator. Her speed dropped from 35 to 30 to just over 25. She had one more traffic light. She could turn and take the connector to... We will be right back. Yes. Yes, we will. We will return with a clean diaper. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Yes. Yes, we will. Yes, we will. We will. We will. Well, we feel much better now. We feel much better now than we did before, right? You feel much better? Yeah. Since we're on an intermission, Mommy's gonna take a sip of coffee. Yeah. I have to say, we're trying out the Honest diapers for the first time. I know she wasn't getting enough attention. That's funny, right? So we've been trying different brands, you know, all the beginning of her life for, I think, obvious reasons, just to like see what we vibe with. I'm really liking these Honest diapers quite a lot, actually. We just got the first box of them open when we changed her to size 1, and I really like them, if anyone's curious. First of all, they're real cute. They've got little flowers all over them. But second of all, they like feel comfortable. You hated those? Oh, you didn't like them? Huggies Rascals. I like Millie Moon also. The way that you walked over her, she looked like such a big girl. She is such a big girl now. Isn't that wild? She's so long. Yeah. Oh, now you're hungry again? Okay, sorry. We'll go back to the other side so that you can eat. Yes, I'm sorry. I didn't hear her cry. Is she getting like? Yes, she didn't cry at all. After size 2, they leak nonstop. Oh, see, I've never used anything but size 1, so that's good to know. That's good to know, Amber. I did not know that. We've literally only used size 1 in them. Like, this is our first box of them. But I will say, I like Millie Moon a lot. Millie Moon only started to leak when she got too big for them, which is totally fine. You know, we understand that. They're very cute, Pampers for them with eczema. Yeah, luckily her skin is really great. We've never even had a diaper rash. Can you believe that? In all of her almost 2 months of life, she's never yet had a diaper rash. I know it could still come. Rascals is like discount Millie Moon. Very good to know. Very good to know. We've used Huggies, the ones we got from the doctor, or from the hospital rather. We've used, what was the other one we used? Gosh, now I can't remember. We had another one. We had Huggies, and then we had something else, and then we had Millie Moon, and now we have Honest. What did we have in between? Why can't I remember? Earth's is best. I believe you with the no dye rash. You're such super. Yeah, we are pretty on top of changing her. We never let her sit for, like, if I know that she needs a change, like that what just happened just now, of course I'll change it right away. Or if it's been like an hour and a half or 2 hours, I'm always like, girl, did you pee? Because you probably did. And then I'll always check it. That kind of a thing. But unless it's the middle of the night, of course, then I only change it when she wakes me up to eat. I look at it, like I'll feed her on one side because I don't want her to yell at me. And then once she's had one side, I get her up to burp her and I change her, and then I go back and feed her the other side so that we're like calm when we do our diaper change, you know? Unless it's like obvious that it needs a change immediately. You can usually feel it, right? When you're holding them, you're kind of like, something's a little different here. But anyway, let's get back to reading because we were interrupted by you know, a diaper need. We were interrupted by a need for a new diaper, huh? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Here we go. She could just turn and take the connector to the Isle of Palms, but then it was too late, and she was there. Every detail leapt out at her in extreme close-up, the shards of red plastic tail lighting scattered across the asphalt, safety glass catching the sun, a plastic Volvo hubcap crushed flat in the entrance to the Scotsman gas station. Her throat closed tight, and she couldn't force air down past her chest. All the sounds dropped out, and her ears just went, ee. The sun got too bright. Her peripheral vision blurred. The light changed. The driver behind her tapped his horn. Automatically, she made a right-hand turn from the left-hand lane, not even looking for oncoming traffic, realizing that as she did, someone might slam into her. But she didn't care. She needed to get away from this intersection where her parents had died and see instead the house where they had lived. Seeing it with fresh eyes, Louise saw it as it was, not dressed in its history and associations. Their little single-story brick rancher had been fine when it was their grandparents' house built in 1951, but as the years passed, the houses around them added additions and screened-in back porches and white coats of paint over the bricks and glossy coats of black paint over their shutters, and every other house got bigger and more expensive, while theirs turned into the shabbiest house on the block. Hi. What's going on? You need a burp? You need a burpy burp? That's okay. You can have a burpy burp. You can have a burpy burp. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yeah, you can. Yes, you can. You can burp. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. So this is interesting to think about while we're burping her in this book. Her mom sounds like she was like a famous Christian whatever, but they have the shabbiest house on the block. Kind of weird, right? Like, what's going on there? Why did they never fix it up? Or was, I don't know, maybe she didn't make any money and just made it sound like she did? I'm not sure. Okay. Where are we? Here we go. She pulled into the driveway and got out. Her rental car looked too bright and blue next to the dry front yard. The camellia bushes on either side of the front steps looked withered. The windows were dirty. Their screens were blurry with grime. Dad hadn't put in the storm windows yet, which he always did by October, and no one had swept the roof where the dead pine needles clumped in the orange continents. Thick orange continents. Sure, whatever that means. A limp seasonal flag showing a red candle wore the word Noel and hung on the front porch. That looked grimy. The first blank line from Lister appeared inside her mind, and she filled it out. Walk through the house. She'd just start here. She'd do a walkthrough, assess the situation that made sense, but her feet didn't move. She didn't want to go inside. It felt like too much. Hey, Isabella. Oh, hi, Isabella's baby brother. It felt like too much, and she didn't want to see it so empty. However, being a single mom had made Louise an expert at doing things that she would rather avoid. If she didn't rip off the Band-Aid and take care of business, who would? She forced her feet to walk across the dry grass and creaked open the screen door and grabbed the front doorknob. It didn't turn. No keys. Maybe the back? She'd walk around to the side of the house where the yellow grass faded into dirt, and she unlatched the waist-high chain-link gate and banged it wide with her hip and slid through. Mark's lumber sat abandoned in the middle of the backyard, a pile of once yellow pine faded to gray. Louise remembered how excited her mom had been when Lowe's dropped it off for the deck Mark had promised to make them back in 2017. But it sat untouched ever since then. Just killing the grass. Not that there was much grass to kill. The backyard had been a blind spot in their family, a big, weedy expanse of dirt, and whatever mutant grass could survive there was there without watering. Nothing significant grew out of the back except for a ridiculously tall pecan tree in the middle of what was probably dead and twisted cypress in the back corner, which had of course gone feral. A wall of unkillable bamboo separated them from their neighbors, and Louise grabbed the old rattling doorknob on the back door to the garage, and her heart stopped. She expected it to be locked, but she turned it beneath her hand, and it opened with a familiar fanfare of squeaky hinges, and she made herself step inside. Hi. What are you doing? You want to go sleepy on Mommy's chest? That's fine. Yeah, you can go sleepy. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah. Yeah. That's fine. You can go sleepy. How do you want to lay down? Do you want to lay on Mommy's legs? You want to try laying on Mommy's legs? That might make you happy. Would that make you happy? Yeah. Would that make you happy? Mommy will put herself back together. Yeah, there we go. That's a happy girl. That's a happy girl, huh? Yeah. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Well, you already had your morning poopies, so you're not that grumbly. Ha-boo-boo-boo. Ha-boo-boo-boo. Okay, let's keep going. It's good for us to read. She was reading last night. Do you guys want to know what she was reading last night? It was a book called Hello, Ocean Friends. Riveting tale. Riveting, even. Shadowy cousins and neighbors and aunts crowded in the garage, drinking Coors the way they always did. On Christmas Day, Bing Crosby playing in a boombox, the women smoking Virginia Slims, adding mentholated notes to a pink perfection of roasting Christmas ham. Louise's eyes adjusted to the gloom, and the phantoms there faded, and the garage looked twice as empty as it had before. She walked up the 3 brick steps to the kitchen door and froze. She heard the muffled voices of a man speaking with confidence and authority from somewhere inside the house, and Louise stared through the window in the middle of the door, peering past its sheer white curtain, trying to see who it was. The brick-patterned linoleum floor unrolled past the counter separating the kitchen from the dining room and stopped at the far wall where her mom's gallery of string art hung over the dining room table. Its plastic tablecloth got changed with the seasons. Yeah. Uh-huh. Tell me more. Yeah. Yeah. You want a new tablecloth? We don't even have a tablecloth. Imagine that. We are uncouth. I know. We are not old Southern ladies. We don't even have a tablecloth, honey. We just have a wood table. Sorry about that. The thing underneath here is a long line. It's like a tank top. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Yeah, it's like a tank top. It is. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And right now, it was red poinsettias for winter. The JCPenney chandelier hung overhead, and the china hutch pressed itself into the corner. The chairs kept their backs to her. The man continued talking from inside the house. She could see a small slice of the front hall with its green wall-to-wall carpet, but there were no people. A woman asked the man a question. Was Mark with a realtor? Was he already taking stuff? Louise hadn't seen any cars parked outside, but maybe he'd parked around the corner. He could be sneaky like that.
Yeah, definitely was covered. Thank you. I appreciate that.
She carefully turned the latch. The door cracked its seal and then swung open, and the man's voice got louder.
We are much better today. Yes, much better.
Louise stepped inside and eased the door closed behind her, and then she crept forward, ears straining, trying to figure out what he was saying. Details registered automatically. Her mom's purse was sitting on the end of the counter. The answering machine was blinking its red light for one new message. The smell of sun-warmed Yankee candles, and then she reached the dining room, and she stopped. The man's voice sounded big and small at the same time, and Louise realized it was coming from the living room TV. Her scalp tightened, and she looked into the front hall, to the left, and then it got dark, leading deeper into the house. To the right was the living room, where someone was watching TV, and Louise held her breath and stepped around the corner. I thought that maybe the voices were ghosts, but so far that was just the TV, which is good, right? That's better than ghosts. It's just a TV. Yeah, like when you watch Chuck Rhodes. That's right. Okay. She stepped around the corner. Stealing myself for this one. Hundreds of her mom's dolls stared at her. Clown dolls on top of the sofa, a harlequin wedged against one of its arms, German dolly-faced dolls crowded a shelf over her head, and swarms of dolls stared through the glass door of the doll cabinet against the far wall. On top of the doll cabinet stood a diorama of 3 taxidermied squirrels. Why? We don't do taxidermy in our home. No. The TV played the Home Shopping Network to 2 enormous French baby dolls sitting side by side in her dad's brown velour easy chair. They were Mark and Louise. That's what her mom had called them when she bought these ugly, expensive 3-foot dolls with their hard, arrogant faces and coarse chopped hair. Okay, you want to move. You don't want to lay there anymore. That's fine. That's fine. While we're repositioning this little lady, I will tell you all, my mother also has some dolls, not in this quantity, but she has some dolls that she takes out at Christmas time for decorations. She calls them her Christmas dolls, and they are meant to represent my brother, sister, and I, because there's a blonde and 2 brunettes, which is what we are. There's 1 boy and 2 girls, which is me and my sister and my brother. And she calls them the choir dolls, and they have little candles, and they stand in front of the Christmas tree. She's doing great, Roxy. First part was from a different comment. Oh. It all got smushed together. I was wondering about the DM part. I was like, wait a second. So I relate to having dolls named for us, huh? We don't have a doll for you. That's okay. You don't need a doll named for you. All of her dollies so far are animals, which is real fun. Bless you. But you can have dolls because you're the right age for it, you know? Yeah. Okay, let's keep going. That's what her mom had called them when she bought these ugly, expensive 3-foot-tall dolls with their hard, arrogant faces and coarse chopped hair. No matter where you 2 go, I can keep my precious babies with me forever, her mom had said. The girl sat stiffly in her layered summer frock, arms by her side. Oh, good bird. Legs sticking straight out in front, and strawberry-stained lips puckered into a pout, eyes blank, staring at the TV. Good burps. Good head lifting, honey. The boy wore a navy blue Little Lord Fauntleroy jacket with a Peter Pan collar and short pants. His blonde hair looked like it had been hacked into a page boy with a pair of dull scissors. Between them lay the remote. They'd always creeped Louise out. She looked down the hall, but didn't see any other signs of life. The bathroom door was open. The bedroom doors were closed. No lights were on, so she made herself pluck the remote from between the doll Mark and the doll Louise, trying not to touch their clothes, and she turned off the TV. Yeah, right? Oh, we have a little spitty uppy. Mommy put the spit up cloth on her lap instead of on her shoulder, which was silly, huh? Silence rushed around her, and she stood alone in a house full of dolls. Growing up, her mom's dolls had mostly faded into the background. If a friend came over and said something like, "Your mom has a lot of dolls," Louise would say, "Yeah, you should see her puppets." And then she'd just show them her mom's workroom, but mostly they were in one eye and out the other. A few times, however, like her first Thanksgiving back from college, or right this minute, she really did notice them. At those times, the house felt too crowded with dolls. There were too many unblinking eyes staring at her and sucking up all the oxygen, watching everything she did. She tried to look anywhere else and immediately saw her dad's aluminum medical cane lying on the wall-to-wall carpet in front of the TV. It was the only thing out of place in the entire room. It should have been with him in the car. Thank you, I'd love to talk to her. After he retired from the economics department at the College of Charleston, her dad kept finding ways to return to campus, and a year ago, he'd been walking around the quad to an advisory committee meeting with some students when someone shouted, "Professor Joyner," and threw him a frisbee. He jumped to catch it, a spectacular leap according to everyone who saw it, but the problem came with the landing. Even then, the doctors thought the real damage was done when the golf cart from public safety arrived and ran over his leg. That's crazy, right? They ran over his leg. Not good. Not good. The end result was a tremalleolar fracture and an ankle dislocation that cut off the blood supply to his foot. Oh, terrible. 3 plates, 14 pins, and 1 bone infection. 3 surgeries later, and they'd let him out of the hospital. Then came 8 weeks of non-weight-bearing recovery, 4 weeks with crutches, a CAM boot, and a cane for another 8 weeks. While wearing the CAM boot, he developed pain in his right hip, which required more PT, more MRIs, and more talk of surgery. All told, he was out of action for 10 months, during which their mom gave up her puppet ministry to sort out his pain pills, take him to PT, do PT with him, and spend time with him so that he didn't get bored. Their dad had never ever even had a bad... You want to move sides? Yeah. We're just in one of those moods today where we're wiggly worms. We're in a wiggly worm mood today. That's okay. You can be a wiggly worm. You've had a bone infection, Roxy? That sounds truly awful. Really, really awful. You want to look at your plant? Yeah, that's nice, huh? Yeah. Their dad had never even had a bad cold as far as Louise could remember, so this had been a seismic disruption. When Louise flew home, he looked like he had aged 20 years in a month, going from restlessly retired to completely invalid in almost overnight. You had a bone infection in your spine? That sounds truly awful. He must have been watching TV when they got in the car that night, and then they'd forgotten to turn it off, which didn't sound like her dad at all, because he followed everyone around the house all the time, turning lights out after them. He must have dropped his cane, which also seemed unlikely, because she didn't think he could walk very far without it. Louise's knees popped as she squatted to pick up the cane, and that's when she saw the hammer. It lay on the other side of her dad's easy chair. She got on her hands and knees to pick it up and saw the long chip of raw yellow wood along the edge of the coffee table. It looked like it had been made by the hammer. The cane, the hammer, the TV being on, the dolls in her dad's chair. It all felt wrong. She looked at the dolls. Whatever happened, they'd seen it all, but they weren't about to tell. Louise propped her dad's cane up by his chair and placed the hammer on the kitchen counter before heading down the hall to the bedrooms. Her feet were bouncing on the green nylon wall-to-wall carpet woven for durability and sculpted into lily pads. She passed Mark's closed bedroom door and then stopped at her mom's workroom. It sat between Mark and Louise's bedrooms, more of a large sewing room, really, and over the door she'd tacked a card that read, "Nancy's Workshop," in cursive with a rainbow. Every night while Mark and Louise fought over whose turn it was to clear the table or load the dishwasher, their mom retreated behind this door. She'd come out to say goodnight or to tell them bedtime stories, but for years Louise fell asleep listening to her mom's sewing machine chugging away on the other side of the wall. She smelled the burning plastic stink of her hot glue gun. Yeah. She hesitated, her hand hovering over the doorknob now, and she decided she wasn't ready to face that room yet. She turned and continued down the hall, and then her attention snapped into focus, and she stopped. Something felt off. She scanned the walls with the eyes of an expert art appraiser, taking in the endless family photos in big frames, little frames, round frames, rectangular frames. Her mom's art, lots of her mom's art, framed diplomas, framed programs from Mark's high school plays, framed class pictures, framed graduation pictures, framed vacation pictures. The Joyner National Portrait Gallery was curated by their mother. Something felt wrong, though. The silence of the house stretched her nerves tight, and then she realized she didn't see the string. They used to tuck the white string that pulled down the attic stairs behind a corner of a picture of her dad receiving an award from the National Economic Freedom Forum. Otherwise, it would bonk you in the head when you walked by. But it was gone. Louise looked up and her shoulder twitched. High in the shadows, someone had done an ugly job of nailing... Oops. Gotta prove I'm a human. Someone had done an ugly job of nailing the attic hatch closed, hammering every piece of scrap wood they could find over it and hacking off the pull-down string at its base. It reminded Louise of the one zombie movie that Ian had made her watch, where people boarded up their windows to keep zombies out. Had the springs broken, and was this their dad's terrible attempt at repair? Were there raccoons in the attic, and had he done this to keep them from getting in the house? Yeah. Yeah. What else? You want to go up higher? Yeah? You want to go up higher? Where do you want to be? Where do you want to be? Where do you want to be, sweetheart? Yeah? Do you want to be on the other shoulder? I want to move to the other side. I know you like being on this side. Okay. Okay. You can look at your plant. That's nice. It reminded Louise of the one zombie movie that Ian had made her watch, where people boarded up their windows to keep zombies out. Had the springs broken, and this was their dad's terrible attempt at repairs? Were there raccoons in the attic, and he'd done this to keep them from getting in the house? Had taking care of her dad been too hard for her mom? Had the screens gotten dirty, and the raccoons gotten into the attic, and this was the best she could do? Louise felt guilty for not noticing how bad things were getting. Standing under the boarded attic hatch made her nervous, so she headed for the halls and her parents' bedroom door, which was closed. She stopped when she saw the big vent at the end of the hall. Its grill had fallen off, exposing a big square chopped into the drywall. She picked up the vent cover and leaned it against the wall. Had the raccoons in the attic gotten into the ducts? Had squirrels? This all felt wrong. The boarded-up hatch, the busted vent, the hammer, the cane, the TV, her mom's purse on the end of the counter. Something had happened right before her mom and dad had left the house for the last time. And it was something bad. Her parents' closed bedroom door, the old bedroom door of hers that faced one another, she decided to walk through and get out of there. She reached for the doorknob. Yeah, big yawn. She reached for the doorknob of her parents' bedroom door and stopped. She opened it, and the room would be empty, she knew, and it would feel too final. She turned and pushed open her old bedroom door instead. Her dad had converted this into a computer room a long time ago. The ancient family Dell stood on her old desk, awash in a sea of her dad's paperwork and bills. Louise automatically started to sort them. She couldn't remember how many times she'd sorted her dad's desk. Almost every time she came home, and she wasn't able to sleep until she got his desk back in order. Every time she'd come back and reverted her dad's cryptic old system by filing and piling his papers. Her movements slowed as she realized this time his desk wouldn't revert. This time the papers would stay wherever she left them. Her dad would never scramble his paperwork again. She'd never get another out of the blue, impossible to understand text message from her mother, full of random emojis and arbitrary capitalizations. No more spontaneous presents for Poppy in the mail. Louise dropped the bills back on his desk and looked out at the shelves over her bed. Her Wando yearbooks, her lanyard with governor's school ID, her Pinewood Derby trophy from Girl Scouts, and her old stuffed animals, the Red Rabbit, Buffalo Jones, Dumbo, Hedgehog Hedgie, stared down at her from her shelf. She'd outgrown sleeping with them when she turned 5, and then she'd moved them onto this shelf where they became a constant but silent presence in her life. They looked so patient there. They looked like they understood her. She pulled Buffalo Jones down and hugged him to her chest as she curled up on her bed, wrapping her body around his soft, uncomplaining presence. She buried her face in his white fur, the smell of Febreze, and she felt a pang that her mom still took the trouble to clean these dolls. She'd loved these guys so much as a kid, practicing her splinting techniques on them when she was working on her first aid bandaging for Girl Scouts, insisting that her mom kiss each and every one of them goodnight after they had moved to the shelf. They didn't feel cold and silent like her mom's weirdo dolls. They felt like old friends waiting for her to come home. Whenever Louise got anxious, her dad always said, "Well, you know, Louise, statistically there's a lot of variance in these numbers, but in general, from a strictly scientific point of view, everything turns out okay an improbable number of times." Not this time, she thought. This time nothing's ever going to be okay again. She hugged Buffalo Jones tight and felt something break inside of her chest, and tears built up behind her eyes. She grabbed onto that feeling and let it carry her away as she realized that finally she was going to cry. In the living room, the TV turned itself off. Hi, Frankie.
What?
Baby, the TV turned itself off in the living room. Yeah, the TV turned itself off.
I know, right? Jen's like, nah, that's no good. This book is about to, I know, I would be out the door. I'd be like, see you never. This house doesn't need to be sold. It can sit empty. Not my problem. Mark can have the house. I mean, the truth is, if my mom owned a haunted house and it was that scary and I didn't have a good relationship with my brother, I would just ditch him and let him deal with it. Lucky for my brother, I love him, so I won't ditch him, but like, creepy. Okay, well, that was that. Yeah, seriously nice. I would just be like, I don't need the money from the house sale. Yeah, it's an interesting book. It's creepy, but it's not so scary that we're gonna like have nightmares 12 hours from now. You know what I mean? When we go to bed or whatever. So, okay. Just a reminder, we have Roll for Slam After Dark tonight. It's at 6 p.m. Pacific time. It will be on YouTube. I will link it on Patreon a little bit before. I will get back to, me too, Avery. I will get back to packing orders today. As you all know, based on my post, yesterday was a wash. I did not pack any orders yesterday because I was too frazzled mentally to do anything of worth. I literally just like got home from the accident and laid in bed with the baby for the rest of the day because I just couldn't take it. I was too shook up. So I'm better now and I can get through work today without bursting into tears, which is great, right? It's great. It's great. We're feeling better today. Yes, we are. We feel better today. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go have breakfast and then we're gonna get to work, you and me, and we will see everybody later. Well, you won't because you're not old enough to come to the live. Hey, Valerie, how are you? She's not old enough to join us tonight, but, you know, the rest of us. Maybe I do need a glass of wine tonight. What do you guys think? Yeah, what do you think? Should I just pump all day for you and then I can have wine tonight? What do we think? What do we think? Mommy might need it. Yeah. All right, I'll see you later, you guys. All right, have a good day till then. Actually, 2 glasses, that's right. She's already joined in the past. That's also true.